Sorry about that. I do not know what happened. Okay, so, all right. Okay, thank you, Lee, because I was like, wait a minute, I couldn't see anything. Hi, Lynn. Awesome. All right, so we're going to get started today. All right, so as I mentioned, hi, my name is Flora Sage. This is our free lunch and learn that we do at least once a month here in the Institute, in the Flora Sage Institute. And this week's topic is declutter your life. Now, before we get started talking about clutter and how it affects us, how it impacts us, and how we can actually get rid of it, we're going to open up sacred space. We're going to do a little bit of a vibe check. So I want everyone to close your eyes and take a deep, deep belly breath in through the nose. And exhale. Take another deep, deep belly breath in. And exhale. Take one last breath in as we call in all of our guides and guardians to be with us in this sacred space today. And as you exhale, open your eyes. Perfect. All right. Woo! Okay, so today we're going to be talking about decluttering your life. Now, decluttering your life is one of the most important things that you could possibly do to start to create the life that you want and the life that you really dream of having. During our time together today, you're going to learn what clutter does to your energy. You're also going to learn how it holds us back and also how you can clear it so that you can start to get the life that you want. So what is clutter? And what does it do to our energy and how it holds us back? So clutter by definition is a collection of things lying about in an untidy mass. That's what the Webster's Merriam Dictionary says. Clutter is anything that you don't use, you don't love, or kind of just in piles and in some way, shape, or form hinders you and your life and your productivity. Clutter can be in a closet. It can be in kitchen drawers. It can be in any room. It can be in your car. It can be in your inbox. It can be in your head. It can be on your phone. It can be in a relationship. Clutter really is both energetic as well as physical. So I want you to look around your space right now. Just take a few moments, look around wherever you are, if you're at work, if you're at your home, if you're in your car, just look around and just notice, where does your vision gravitate towards? Typically, it will gravitate towards piles of stuff, piles of clothes, piles of books, piles of magazines, newspapers, random whatnots, just a collection of random little things. Now, it's not necessarily things that we don't love and use. Sometimes it's stuff that we use all the time, and that's why it's out in kind of a collective pile, because we think, well, I'm just going to use it again anyway, so why should I put it away? Yeah, it just saves time if I keep it out. So what this does, what clutter does to our energy, it zaps us. I mean, it's too much visual stimulation for our brain and our mental capacities to handle. And when we see piles of clutter, piles of random little whatnots, or even if it's just a pile of books, it's a reminder of things we have yet to do and things we haven't done quite yet. And so because of that, what happens is it has a really profound effect, because that reminds us, oh, I still have this much more to do and this much more to take care of. And our lives are so busy nowadays, so busy, that we get home from work, or we, finish work, and you just stop and you're like, oh, I'm tired. And now you've got dinner to make, and you've got maybe kids to feed and a spouse to look after, or whatever. And all of a sudden you see this pile of stuff and you're like, oh shit, I have to do that too. And then you're just like, oh my God, really? When does it end? And just visually, it's just too much. It's just too much. And so what happens when you start to clear spaces, your brain, so let's just say, so I'm sitting at my kitchen table, and it's actually like my dining room table, but my kitchen is right here. And so when I look at my kitchen, typically my island is a hot spot, and I try to keep it clutter free, but sometimes it just keeps happening. Like clutter just kind of gravitates. That's what's called a hot spot. And so many times when I'm working and I look up and I see the island and I see that there's stuff on it, I feel drained. And so what I try to do every day before work is I try to clear all of it off, so I don't even have to think about it. I don't even have to just even mess with it. I know that it's clear. I got a story about one of my clients who worked with me for 6 months. She hired me because she's like, okay, Flora, I want to create a membership site that is going to rock my tribe's socks off. And I'm like, all right, perfect. So she hired me for 6 months, and we started working together for a few months. And then I noticed that she started to lose steam. And 2 weeks in a row, she didn't get any of her tasks finished. And I was like, all right, talk to me, sister. What's going on? She's like, ugh. And so she just kind of was just venting and venting. And I was hearing her. I was listening to her vent. And within a very short period of time, she talked about the laundry over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, stop. We're going to talk about the laundry. She goes, what? I don't want to talk about the laundry. I'm hiring you to do business coaching. I said, yes, but you haven't done anything for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Okay. So what we're going to do just for today is shift gears and look at the laundry and look at why it's such a drain and why it's such an energy pull to you and for you, so much so that it's distracting you from doing your work. And she's like, oh, but it's not just that. It's all this other stuff. I said, but from what I'm hearing from you, what you've just made mention is that I've heard more about the laundry than anything else in the last 10 minutes. And she's like, okay. I said, just hear me out, entertain the idea. And she's like, all right, because she worked from home. And well, you know, she actually still works from home. But so I said, so talk to me about the laundry. She goes, oh, I hate it. It's the bane of my existence. I'm like, okay, why? She goes, there's just so much of it. Oh my God, there's just so much of it. Every day, it's just staring me in the face. And I'm like, okay, whose laundry do you do? She goes, well, I do everybody's laundry. Isn't that what every mom does? And I'm like, no, I only do my laundry. My kids do their laundry. When I was married, my husband at the time did his laundry. I did mine. My kids all did theirs. She goes, really? I said, yes. One of the early pieces of advice that I got in my marriage was, well, actually in my life, in my first marriage also, is never do anything for your kids that they can do for themselves. And I said, would your kids be open and receptive to doing their own laundry? And she goes, probably, because they hate waiting for me to do their laundry and they're always complaining that they don't have anything to wear. And I said, okay, so would your husband be open to the fact of doing his own laundry? And she goes, well, he'll probably turn some of the loads pink, but I think after a couple times he'll realize that he needs to sort out the red stuff from everything else. And I'm like, okay. And I said, how big are the laundry baskets that you have? She goes, oh my God, I have those ginormous, like super tall ones. And I said, okay, that's one of the problems. And I said, go to the store and get a laundry basket for each of you that is a one loader, you know, and that's just those short, square laundry baskets. And I said, do that. And then over the next week, write out instructions, put it by the washer, and instruct everybody how to do their own laundry. Like teach them how to do it and then see what happens. Okay. Just see what happens. So we did this over the next couple weeks, and she's like, after 2 weeks, she's like, oh my God, oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. She goes, one of the first things I did after I got all the laundry baskets, she said, first thing she actually did was wash all the laundry, sort it, and put it all away. She said, when I was putting my laundry away, she goes, I hate my closet because there's so much laundry in it. So she took over half of her pieces of clothes out of her closet got rid of them. And she said, I didn't even donate them. I just got rid of them. I'm just like, I didn't care where they went. And I'm like, rock on. And of course, I obviously recommend that you all donate to a good cause or whatever, but she just wanted to be done with them. Then the next thing she did was she goes, when I looked in my closet, I finally felt like I was okay with every piece that was in there. She took everything out. She tried everything on, or she just tossed the stuff that she knew she didn't love. And she put everything back, and then she put her tiny laundry basket in the bottom of her closet, which is where I recommend everybody keep it so that it's out of sight so you don't see the laundry every day. Then she was back on track, and she got so much done over the next couple weeks. And that's what I like to call the laundry factor. Okay. Now, what is the laundry factor in your life right now? Is it a pile of tools in the garage? Is it a stack of notebooks and books and papers? Is it a stack of mail? Is it a stack of clothes? Is it a stack of just random projects that you've started that you're probably not going to finish? And I want you to think about how much of an energy drain and an energy pull that is for you. And I really want you to ask yourself, are you really going to do this? Are you really going to finish this project? Are you really going to sort through all this stuff? Really? But then also look at, how often do you use something? Can you relocate it in a place or space where it's easy for you to access, yet out of sight? Okay. Lee says, I have a 2-year-old and my husband works 10 hours. So when he comes home, I feel awful that I don't have my house cleaned up. That's why you're here. I'm going to show you how. Lee also says, that's how I feel. I have a massive pile of clothes. I don't even know where the corner, I do not even where in the corner of my room that it's making me a nervous wreck. Oh my gosh. Yes. And that's the thing too, is that when you have clutter, one of the things that it does to us, oh my God, well, actually it does a lot of stuff. It makes us feel stressed out. And because we feel stressed out, a lot of the times we overeat, we oversleep, we overindulge in substances that help us to cope, whether that's alcohol or drugs or social media or games, some way to numb out so that we don't pay attention and we don't have to deal with the stress that goes along with clutter. Another thing is it makes us sleep like crap. It also can lead to depression. It can lead to indecisiveness. It can lead to a ton of wasted money, because if something is so cluttered and you're looking for something and you can't find something and you're like, shit, I really need this. So you go out, you buy it, only to find that random thing that you lost at the bottom of a drawer someplace or at the bottom of some big stack. Now you have 2 of them, and this happens over and over and over again. Think of how much time you waste also. The average adult, over 55% of adults actually waste over an hour a day because of all the clutter that they have in their life. Another statistic, which is really scary, is clutter is one of the leading causes of house fires in the world. I mean, think about this, all the clutter that you have. And if you were to have like a spark go off from a heater, or if you smoke in the house, or if you have candles, or if you have a plug-in that's not all the way plugged in and a piece of paper or a piece of cloth actually touches that and it's, plugged in just enough to make that connection, all of a sudden what happens is you have a house fire. So it's so important that you realize how detrimental clutter can be to you, your happiness, and your well-being. So why does clutter affect us this way? Why does clutter affect us in the way where we feel like we're so drained and we're so scattered? Well, that's because visually our brains like to see kind of things in order. When you go outside, you see the trees, you see the grass, you see the bushes, the shrubs, the flowers, and the cows, and whatever else you may see, the cars and everything else. When you come inside, you also see kind of the landscape of your home, of your place. But again, when you see a stack of something and that's a reminder to you, oh yes, I need to clean this up, or I need to do this, you energetically feel the exhaustion that comes with the obligation of doing that. Another thing is it's draining because you're feeling the actual energy of that thing. So here's my phone. My phone, I've got a really good high vibe phone. I love it. I love this case. So when I see it, it's not low vibe. And then here is a CD that I have. This is a on-air comedian that is actually in the Oklahoma area. And I've had this CD literally sitting on my island for about 2 months. And I've been meaning to actually just put it into my computer and burn it onto my computer so that I can throw the disc away. Have I done it yet? No. But every time I see it, I'm like, oh, shit, I need to do this. And I keep forgetting. Basically, I haven't made it a priority. And that is one of the reasons why we feel that energetic drain. So how can you go from feeling drained and having all this hullabaloo, all this clutter around, and shifting it to all of a sudden having a clutter-clear, clean space? Well, the first thing is I want you to start with the end in mind, okay? And I want you to write these steps down. I want you to start with the end in mind and look at, okay, what is the purpose of each room? What's the purpose of this room? This is our dining room. It's also my office. So I have this little corner here where I have my printer, and that's on a stand, and underneath the stand is paper and ink. And then I have my little file cabinet. The bottom drawer is just the files, and then the top drawer is like a drawer that has like my stapler and other stuff in it. And then at the top has like this kind of file folder type thing where I stand stuff up. And then I have 2 little stacks of books that I refer to all the time. And then I look around and then I see the kitchen. And so the kitchen is for eating food, preparing food, and kind of just connecting with people as you're standing in the kitchen, just chit-chatting while you're making food. The living room, which is right here, that's for all kinds of things: connecting, playing games, watching TV, crocheting, working out, all kinds of different things. And so look at the purpose of each room that you have in your home. The bedroom is a big one. This is one that most couples will have some sort of argument or disagreement from. If you want to practice good sleep hygiene, you will have no electronics in your room. No computers, no laptops, no devices of any kind, including a television. All of these devices have EMFs, or electromagnetic frequencies, which clutter up the airwaves, which actually are proven your deep REM sleep. So you actually get a lower quality of sleep when you sleep with devices. This is one of the reasons why I love this phone case, because it has an EMF blocker in the case, which is awesome. So think about the purpose of each room, okay? And then that will help you to take out and declutter the stuff that doesn't really belong in the room, all right? So bedrooms, that is for connecting with your partner and sleeping, okay? The bathrooms, what are they there for? Some of you have a vanity in your bathroom where you can actually, put your makeup on, you do your hair, so you have that type of stuff, plus you get clean there. You wash your hands. What else do you have in there? I've seen so much stuff in so many houses. I've been clutter clearing and organizing people's homes for the last 20 years. That was my full-time gig back in the day. Now it's kind of a side gig, but I still do it and I absolutely love it. And it's shocking to see what people have in what rooms that are absolutely not even part of that room. They just kind of put them there for now. So again, figure out what the purpose of each room is. And then again, start with the end in mind. By the end of the time that I clear this clutter from this space, what do I want this room to feel like? Okay, maybe you want your kitchen to feel open and expansive. You want it to feel clutter-free. So look at all the things that you have on your countertop. Do you need everything out all the time, or can you put it away and then take it out when you use it? All right, same thing with your dining room. Do you need to keep everything out all the time, or can you put it away? I'll give you an example. One of the things that tends to happen in my office / this table is I love to journal. And right now I actually have 2 journals sitting right here two journals right here. And so what I do is when I notice that my journals are stacking up and I've got stuff stacked up, I'm like, okay, I just need to put this in the drawer. And I actually put it in the drawer. And if my drawer is filled with stuff, I declutter my drawer. And I say, okay, why have I, really kind of collected all this random stuff? Usually it's pens and pencils and markers and highlighters and sticky notes and kind of office supplies. Well, I have another drawer for office supplies. And so just kind of look at why things are collecting where they are. And if you have too many of them, declutter, get rid of some of the stuff that you have, but then also ask yourself, okay, if it always ends up in this room, is this really, does this really need to be in here? Do I need to kind of rethink the purpose of this room? But first and foremost, you've got to think of the purpose of the room. And I'm just going to keep kind of drilling that into you, because if you have an idea of what you want the room to be, but you use it for an entirely different purpose, clearing out the clutter is not going to matter, because the clutter is just going to end up back in there. Also, if you're not willing to remove some of the clutter, you're just moving piles around. You're just organizing the same amount of stuff, and all that stuff is going to end up right back where you actually remove it from. So you have to be willing to get rid of things that you no longer want. Space clearing and decluttering is something that is part of who I am. It's like in my blood. I've been doing it forever. It's just, I've always been that way. I shared a room with my sister, and she's one of those people that is always knee deep in clothes and toys and books and stuff like that whenever we shared a room. And my side was pristine. It was clean. It was neat and tidy and organized. And I've always been that way. But there are times when I do have clutter piles and stuff that build up, just simply because I live in a home with other people, and sometimes I just don't feel like putting stuff away. But if it's constantly out, I really ask myself, do I really need this? Do I have repeats of it? And so when you start with the end in mind and you have a vision and an idea for what you want in each room, really just start to go through and just say, okay, do I use this? Do I love this? Is this broken? Is it usable? And find a good spot for it. If you have more than one thing, if you have two staplers, do you really need two staplers? Keep the one that's the most stout, that's not going to break, and then hopefully they, like either one of them won't break, but then gift one to somebody else, or put it in for a thrift store or a secondhand store. Start to declutter and remove some of the things that you actually have. Also, try not to tackle the whole house at once. Try to tackle just one space at a time. So let's just say you sit and you kind of walk through your home and you realize, oh my gosh, the entryway is just really heavy for me. It's always cluttered up with stuff. I would recommend doing the one space in your home that is really pulling your energy down the most. All right. So do that space, go through and say, okay, what do I want to feel when I walk in this room? You may need to repaint if you want to, or just rearrange some stuff, or just remove a bunch of stuff. Or if you have a closet in that space and the closet's packed full of stuff, take everything out of the closet and only put back in there what needs to be in there, what the purpose of the closet is. If it's a coat closet, have coats and jackets and shoes. Everything else, find a different spot to place it or put it in, okay? Also, again, when you are clearing through your space and your house, try not to tackle it all at once. Really make a commitment to yourself. Okay, today I'm going to do the kitchen. So how can you do a kitchen? First of all, clear off all the surface levels. I always say that there's 3 phases of decluttering. The first phase is the top hotspot stuff. Hotspots, again, are places that naturally attract clutter or are gathering places for stuff. So do the phase 1 where you just basically do all the surface things. The second phase is actually opening the drawers, opening the closets, and removing all of the duplicates of something and removing things that you don't use on a regular basis or if ever, okay? And then phase 3 is the deep, deep, deep cleanse and clear. And that's when you literally just dump everything out. You wash everything out and only put back what you use. Now, this was actually made famous by, I think her name is Maria Konmari. I think that's her name. I really apologize if I'm not saying it right. But this has been a organizing standard for literally decades. And so literally that is that deep phase is third phase is you literally dump everything out. You get rid of everything, wash it down, scrub it up, and then only put back what you use and love. So look at what you have the energy for and just tackle whatever phase that you want to. You can do the surface today. Tomorrow, you can pull the drawers out, see what you use, see what you never use, see what you're like, where did I get this from? Put it in a donate bag or a gift bag, and then usher it out the door. One of the things that I highly recommend to do that works every single time is set a timer. Let's just say that you really want to tackle a room, but you're like, I don't know how long it's going to take. And you're just like, I'm not really sure. Set a timer and do a 10-minute quick clean. This is great for people that have kids or who are on a really tight schedule. Set a timer. I have one right here. I have timers all over my house. Set the timer for 10 minutes and say, I'm just going to work for 10 minutes in this room. And just say, all right, let's just do this. And you can take a bag and you can just start to declutter and start to take things out that you know you no longer love and use and you haven't used for a long time. You can also do this for your clothes. Every time you wash your clothes, look at what's left in your closet. Studies have actually proven that we wear 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time. Now, one of the things that I do every single January 1st is I put a hanger on the left-hand side of my closet and kind of shove everything that's left over on that side. And then when I wear it, I put it on the left side of the hanger. So at the end of the year, I see everything that I haven't worn in a year. And then I keep repeating that. And then if I haven't worn it in 2 years, I absolutely get rid of it. I don't even think twice about it. If it's like a formal dress or something, of course I keep it because, hey, of course, if it still fits. But, take baby steps. Give yourself permission to take baby steps when you're decluttering your life, but do it on a regular basis. I would do that. I would really make this a daily habit of just doing a 10-minute quick clean in any of the rooms that have hot spots. You can also do this with your email inbox. You could do this with your online photos. You can do this with your Facebook timeline or your Instagram timeline. If you're just totally not jiving or, feeling certain people, you're just like, you can hide their feeds, or you can just unfollow if it's really not lifting you up and really feeding your spirit. So we're getting to time here. Now, if you want to take this a step further, if you are like, oh, hell yes, I cannot wait to get started, try this method out for a few days, see if you love it. If you do, then I have something really, really exciting for you. So I have a new class that I just created for all of you, and I'm going to post a link to it in the comments. Let me get the comments out. And let me grab the link, and I'm going to put it in the comments here for you. I have a new program called Simplify. Now, this program is for anyone who, let me see if it showed up. Yes, it did. So this program is for anyone who wants to methodically go through your home and simplify everything. Literally just say, all right, let's just do this. I'm done. Now, the holidays are coming up, and so many people stress the hell out because they're going to have people over, and they're like, oh my God, my house is a freaking mess because, hello, we've just had summer. If you're on the other side of the world or the other side of the equator, you've had winter, and now summer's getting ready to happen. You've been busy. Things have just been shoved wherever by whomever, and now is time to go, okay, wait a minute. The holidays, like I said, are getting ready to come up. And so this 10-day decluttering extravaganza starts on September 27th, which is a week from today. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through each space in your home, and I'm going to share with you how to do each of the phases for each of those rooms. So this is basically like a 30-day class in a 10-day class period. Because like I said, each day, because some of you may already have the surfaces clear but have never gone through the drawers or the closets to see if there's duplicates. Some of you may do that all the time, but you never actually take everything out. So this is almost like 3 classes in one, which I'm really pumped about. But some of the things that we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at paper clutter and hotspots. We're going to be looking at bedrooms, dining room, garage, storage spaces, living rooms, bathrooms, closets, kitchen, refrigerator, pantry, vehicles, basements, digital clutter, and sentimental things. So we're going to be covering a ton of stuff. We're going to be looking at why we keep clutter, especially like the sentimental things, why it's so challenging for us to get rid of clutter, and I'm going to be giving you a template every single day for each one of these spaces that we work on each day so that you can have that kind of go-to reference PDF checklist that you can say, all right, so this is what I'm going to do today in this area of my home. So like I said, this will help you get ready for the holidays by decluttering your entire space so that you can feel free energetically and mentally and emotionally so that you can go into the holidays with that clear space and that clear energy. And I'm telling you, this is something that changes people's lives. I've been doing this for the last 20 years. And this time right now, the month of September and October are perfect times to do this because we haven't started Halloween yet. We haven't started any of those winter holidays yet. And when that hits, it's fast and we get overwhelmed because we've got all these events. We've got school stuff to go to for our kids. We've got all kinds of stuff to do. So right here, there's that little lull. School just started. So we've got papers coming in from the kids and I can teach you how to work with the paper clutter that you get from them. But then also we're gearing up for all of these things where we're going to be shopping for holiday presents and all these other things. This will allow you to see what you have. You may not even need to go shopping, and if you do have stuff that you don't need, you could sell it on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or any of the other fabulous marketplaces that are around. And then so you can earn money from your old stuff that you're not using anymore. Yay! And then you can use that towards your holiday gifts, which is really, really exciting. So if this sounds like something that is a hell yes for you, go ahead and click the link in the comments. It's florasage.com/simplify. And click the link and join the program. We have a regular offer as well as the VIP offer. This is super, super, super affordable. It's only $47 to join. Super awesome. And I just cannot wait to see you in the class. So what questions do you have for me right now about what we covered today in this Declutter Your Life Lunch and Learn class? And also, what questions do you have for me about the full-blown 10-day extravaganza? Let me know in the comments because, like I said, we've got school just started for our kids. We've got the hop, and all of you have a really chill, really relaxed and fun, stress-free holiday. Now, I can't do anything about your in-laws, but I can help you with the clutter. So let me know what questions that you may have about this. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. We did go a couple minutes over, so I do apologize for those of you who are on a time crunch. I know that this is supposed to be 30 minutes, but this is like one of my favorite topics to talk about because, like I said, I've been doing it for 20 years and well, actually over 20 years. I've been doing it professionally for 20 years, but this is like one of my favorite things because literally on, today's What's Up Wednesday call, I was actually talking about a woman that I worked with. She was a client of mine and I walked into her home and her living room was literally floor to ceiling magazines and newspapers. And she had a small path going from her kitchen through her living room to her bedroom. And, it was very challenging for her to get rid of all the papers and the news and the magazines. But once she did, she said, oh my gosh, I forgot I had this couch. I forgot I had all this stuff hanging on my walls. And she's like, oh my God, I finally feel free. And it was just incredible. Lee said, yes, I feel like I really need help to take this a step further and a step deeper. I have a problem with letting things go. Even though I'm positive, I do not need it. Well, and that's something that I'm absolutely going to be helping everybody with in this program because we're all like that. I mean, it's easy to feel like, oh my gosh, well, what if I'm going to use this? What if I'm going to need this? one of the things, if you're not guided to take the class, but you're still kind of struggling of going, I don't know if I should get rid of this. Oh, I don't know. So one of the things I say in my my process that I work with my clients is, when in doubt, go without. However, if they're not willing to get rid of it, what I recommend is to go without the commitment of actually getting rid of it just yet. So get a box, and anything that you're in doubt about getting rid of, but you haven't used it in like forever, like maybe you can't even remember the last time that you used it, put it in a box, no markings, seal it up, and then write a date 6 months from today. Okay, or 6 months from the date that you actually packed up the box, and then put it in storage someplace, and then put a reminder somewhere, like on your calendar or in your phone. Look at box and storage area or whatever, and then look at the box. And if you can remember anything that's in the box, then you can keep that thing. But anything else, you can't keep it. Even if you open it, and you're like, oh my God, I totally want that. It's like, really? Are you really going to use it? Another fabulous and like shocking, well, fabulously shocking statistic, which has always kind of surprised me, is that most people use their garage for their storage, and their garage is so packed full of stuff that they park outside. So they have useless junk in their garage being guarded by the elements, and their $20,000 or $50,000 vehicles are being exposed to wind and hail and snow and rain and sun. I've never understood that. I've never understood why people use their garage as a storage space. Also, people on average in America, the average American household spends $1,100 in storage fees, in off-site storage fees, to house junk that they are storing. Now, some people say, well, they're collectibles or they're worth money. Okay, sell it. Sell the stuff and get the money and experience something else. Go travel or go invest that money and let that money work for you. This is so interesting that so many people do this. Elizabeth says, I do have the same problem, Lee. Yes, so many people do. Lee says, I live in an apartment and we're going to move into a house next year, but here and now is honestly a disaster. Yes. Well, and that's the thing too, is that, because I've been in that situation as well, and I thank you for bringing this up, because this is a huge thing. A lot of people are in transition. So they're like, okay, so this is where we're at now, but we're going to be moving in a year or 2 years or whatever. So if there's something that you will use for your home, but not for your apartment, box it up and say, this is for the house, and then what room in the house will it be for? Will it be for the living room? Will it be for the pantry? Will it be for the storage closet? Whatever. And box it up and just put it in that space and just label it, this is for the house. So that will help you be able to, because I know sometimes when you're getting a bigger place, you buy things, because like when I bought this house, well, actually not bought the house, but rent it from my cousin, I had to get all kinds of things that I had in Oklahoma, but were now my ex's. And so like brooms and, more rugs and the, trash can for the outside and all kinds of just random things that I didn't need. Well, I had, had there, but I had to kind of replace them. And it was like, oh, wow. And so you don't realize how much stuff you actually need when you have a full-blown home versus an apartment. And so that's the thing. Lee says, yes, I keep buying things and saying this is for the house or the deck, LOL. Yeah, and so, well, one of the things too that you can do is you can just wait and buy those things later. And instead of actually spending the money, you can take the money and put it into a house decorating fund, because what happens is you may get into the house and the energy of the house is totally different than your apartment. And what you purchased actually doesn't energetically match with the house that you're going to be moving into. And so you might have to rebuy it or buy a different color, or you know what I mean? And so try to think about it that way. Elizabeth said, I live with my parents still, 31 years old, and the only space I feel is mine is my room, so everything is in there. Clutter everywhere, mostly papers. Okay, so what kind of papers are they? Think about, can I shred these? Do I need to save them? Also, if you say, okay, I really want to move out, how can you create a plan of action so that you can move out? What do you need to do in order to make that happen? And if it's not going to happen anytime soon, is there any space that you can go? Maybe you can rent the basement or the room above the garage. Maybe there's a bigger space that you can move into that has more than just your room. So that's kind of something that you can think about if you are still living someplace where you only have a limited space, okay? So Lee says, yes, I need to stop. That's a good idea. Yes, stop the madness. All right. So that's all the time we have for today. So if you're interested in Simplify, the 10-day declutter extravaganza, click the link in the comments or below this video and check it out. And like I said, we start on September 27th. Now, if you're watching this replay after the 27th, you can still join at any time in the future, because what's going to happen is once we do this program live, it's going to be recorded and it's going to be offered as a recorded program. And so you can actually enroll in it any time you want. So I am here to help you create a fabulous life and to have the most stress-free, chill life possible. And this is one of the ways, actually, this is one of the easiest ways that you can achieve this. So that's my hope for you. Thank you so much, everyone. You're so welcome, Crystal and Lee and Elizabeth and everyone else that has joined me for today's Lunch and Learn. And I hope you have a really, really fabulous day. So click the link below or in the chat and in the comments, and I will see you very, very soon, hopefully inside the Simplify program. Mwah! I love you all. Bye.